Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are across the world. Welcome back to the league by Foxxtecca. It is week 2 and rounds 3 and 4 of the season here at the Sebring International Raceway. I'm Matthew Duffin, joined by my co-commentator for this season in Tyrone Roberts. Tristan, welcome to the commentary box. Great to have you here for the season. Sebring, what a fantastic, legendary, iconic circuit this is for the IMSA calendar especially, and it's going to be a brilliant race for these GT3 McLarens tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We are ready and we are packed with so much action coming up ahead of us here at Sebring. And I mean, just great history as well on a track, racing on a couple of old air bases ranging back from World War II and now transformed into a method of entertainment here for us on a night like this or on a day like this, wherever you are watching. And I think it's going to be an incredible one. But also joining us here in the comms box is Mr. Chris Harris himself. So awesome to have you back in here for round 2 at Sebring. How are you also feeling for this one?
It's race day, baby. It's good to be back. Legendary Sebring. I've actually been there a number of times, and it's always 9 billion degrees there. So it's always good to be in the comfort of my own home, watching these guys sweat it out. So I'm excited. Last race, there's been a lot of chatter from the last competition, and we're going to see how these guys adjust. I know a lot of them took it seriously. There's a lot of guys practicing this track, so let's see how it all pays off.
It's been a week of great anticipation, really, for this one, between all the drivers, especially us in the commentary box as well. Spa went down a hit, Chris. Let's be honest, it was a fantastic week's worth of racing at Spa-Francorchamps last week. The drivers was really excited to get going again, wasn't they, for this one?
Yeah, I mean, they really are. It's been a lot of guys want to prove something to themselves. A lot of guys want to prove something to the people watching, and there's going to be going to be interesting to see how this works out.
It is indeed. We will be speaking just before we go into that qualifying session to Tyrone Roberts. We'll get the championship standings up after that first week's worth of action. And what a week it was for Alexei Nesov, who leads that championship. If you remember back to race 2, played a great strategy to not pit. We have solved the pit issue. There wasn't meant to be pit stops. And we have solved that issue for this week and moving forward for the remainder of the season. But he did well to save fuel. Andrew Caron from David Toth, Zane Smith, Nick DePola from Balaz Pala. Then it is Michael Polasek, Alessandro Torchio, Tyler Campbell and Richard Wedstead rounds out that top 10. And it's obviously very tight within this whole standings at the minute after the first weeks of racing. But Tristan, Nesov last week, absolutely dominant, wasn't he, in that first week's worth of racing?
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys, I'm already jealous of you guys. I unfortunately missed out last week from the action, but I got a little bit of a background check on it. But yeah, like you say, Nesov looks like he was absolutely flying last week at Spa-Francorchamps. Looking to potentially do the same this week. We saw him in practice. Not the fastest lap times he could possibly be pulling out. He's definitely going to want to try and get a little bit more lap times pulled out of that. But currently, Balaz Pala is sitting at the top right now of this practice session, and we're going to also have to keep our eyes on him. But yeah, like you say, Alexei Nesov definitely one to contend with, but we do have a full pack here of, I mean, over 41 cars driving here at Sebring. So in my opinion, this is going to be an incredible race to watch, not even just at the front pack of this grid, but over the entire course of the grid from start to back.
Indeed it is. We'll get Tyrone Roberts in now, who is out there on the track, I do believe currently. He's just come out for his outlap. There is a bit of love for Tyrone in the chat. Tyrone, welcome live to the commentary box. Good evening. First of all, how are you? Are you ready for Sebring?
I'm doing all right. Can you guys hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. I'm doing pretty good. Not too confident for today's race, but we'll see what we can do. These track conditions are extremely hot, so we're sliding all over the place today.
Obviously a week since Spa, great week last week in terms of the action throughout the whole field. Sebring, what a brilliant circuit to come out for week 2.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. Spa was great. That's one of my favorite tracks. Like I said, just been prepping most of the week for Sebring, and hopefully we finish up with a good result.
It was a decent week, wasn't it, for you last week? Just looking at the results there, P9 in the first race and then P19 in the second race. So a decent start to the season. Can you continue a bit more good form this week?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
P9 in the first race and P19 in the second race. Can we keep on a bit of momentum and have a good week this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to try my best. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I can keep it under control with these track conditions. Right now during practice we're at 135 degrees Fahrenheit for track temp right now. It's extremely hot, especially for the McLaren. The rear end likes to kick out a lot, especially in third and fourth gear, so we'll try to manage, and my goal is to just keep the car on the track right now. Last week I spun out on second race, turn 3 I believe I spun out on my own from cold tires, so hopefully just keep gathering points for the rest of the league and the rest of the season.
Tyrone, Chris, anything you'd like to add?
Tell us, how long have you been racing for in iRacing? How long have you been doing sim racing for?
I've only been doing it for 2 years so far. I actually finally got my setup to a point where I wanted it to be. I've gone through probably 2 and 3 brands by now, so I'm like I said, I'm finally satisfied with where I'm at right
now. That's awesome. What brands are you using?
Right now, I'm rocking with GSI Gomez and SimiQ for my base, and a SimLab rig with just a traditional Sparko seat with the halo on the front. So nothing crazy, but it gets the job done.
You got any pre-race rituals that you usually do? Are you superstitious?
No, not really. Honestly, I know for me it's just practice. I just spin laps. I know for some people it's probably counterintuitive, but I just like to get a feel for the track before I get the race going, get as much practice as I can, and yeah, that's it. Sebring's not a track that I race at too often, so the practice laps do help for sure.
Ty, good luck out there today.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
If you look at the rest of the calendar... Oh, sorry. Go on, Tristan.
Yeah, no stress. So yeah, obviously you're mentioning that Sebring not too experienced around here, but a little bit more in depth here with the car. How is it feeling in terms of being in the McLaren? Is it a car that you're kind of used to, or is it something you've picked up just coming into the Foxxtecca, the league by Foxxtecca here?
So GT3, I kind of took a break from GT3 for a little while after the tire update. I've been focusing on LMP and prototypes, specifically LMP2 and LMP3. So the McLaren for this league was definitely a switch up for me. I wasn't really driving it even before the update, so I kind of had to get used to it a couple weeks before Spa started for that race. But yeah, it's a learning curve. It's a fun car to drive. Like I said, the rear end is very twitchy, especially on the fixed setup. But it's even more to control when the track temperatures are really hot. So you just definitely got to be nice and calm on your inputs and hope for the best.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I think final question here just for me is, I think could you possibly just try and maybe emphasize just for our grandstand people watching in the live chat and everything, just how serious these cars actually feel on like an outlap on cold tires possibly?
Oh man, you're on ice. If you go out on cold tires, I think we're at 128 now. It's slowly going up and down. The cold tires and 135 or 131 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll if you can spin the car up pretty bad, especially even coming out of the pits, going into turn 1. So you really do have to warm up your tires beforehand, just a little bit, not too much. It's going to be tire management as well, right? Throughout the race, we got a 25-minute race for the first race and a 30-minute for the second race.
Yeah, that's correct.
You will blow through tires really fast the first 3 and 4 laps if you're sending it. So tire management is definitely going to be a good strategy here, also, especially for the 30-minute race.
The rest of the calendar, Tyrone, if you look at what's left to come, what excites you about the remaining tracks this season? What ones are you looking forward to the most?
As I had said before, I'm looking forward to Bathurst. Bathurst is another fun one. Yeah, it's a very fun track. It should be interesting with all the cars that we have in the league too. I think we got like 38 cars, 40 cars on track, so that's going to be fun. It's such a tight track. And what else were the other ones? I think we're at Road America, Monza. I mean, I'm looking forward to Road Atlanta right now, and Road America is next, so I'm looking forward to those two as well. So Road America, Road Atlanta, and Bathurst I'm looking forward to. Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, Tyrone, practice has just finished. We'll let you get ready for qualifying. Best of luck on today's races.
Thanks, y'all.
Tyrone Roberts there. P9 and 19 out at Spa. Would have been hoping for a little bit more, especially in that second race, but what can he do today? That is going to be the big thing. And Tristan, Sam said last week on air that these tyres in qualifying in particular do take a little while to get up, so we're going to see the lap times in a short qualifying really improve lap by lap every time you go around and do one.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a big thing, especially with all GT3 factor cars, is that that first couple, maybe first or second laps of qualifying is really not something to be considered about, especially if you're, in the grandstand watching this and you've already picked yourself a favorite driver here in the league. Just put that into consideration that the first or second lap is not something to consider just of yet. Those tires do take time to get warm. They're a bit temperamental. And like Tyrone Roberts was telling us, this track is extremely hot today. In Celsius, I think we're looking at around 29, and like you mentioned, I think 85 currently Fahrenheit, which is, it's incredibly high temps over here to be running. And with a car like the McLaren, a mid-engine 1.2 ton vehicle, it does take some time to actually get that car prepped for race.
Chris, 132 degrees Fahrenheit, about 55, 56 degrees Celsius on-track temperatures. They are really hot, and as Tyrone said, the McLaren a little loose on the rear because of these hot temperatures. Drivers have got to be aware about this today, haven't they?
Yeah, the awesome thing about the conditions continually changing is really going to test these drivers' skills and make them adjust. And this is a part of racing. If it's hot track conditions for one person, there's hot track conditions for all 41 of them. So it's going to be exciting to see who's able to kind of adjust and have a proper game plan and win the race.
Indeed it is. It's a great start to the season at Spa last week. Qualifying is underway here for this first race of the day. Just a quick reminder of the race schedule. It is a 10-minute qualifying followed by a 20-minute first race. Then we'll take race 2 grid order by the race result of that first race finish. Apart from the top 8 will be inverted, so wherever you finish in race 1 you will start there on the grid. Unless you're in that top 8, then they will be inverted, and 8th will be pole, and the winner will start in 8th place. It brought some fantastic action and some drama of that pit stop last week. Just a reminder that it has been changed so that the fuel will go to the end, so we shouldn't be seeing any pit stops for fuel today. It should just be go until the end. On board currently with Andrew Yun coming through this fantastic Andrew Karen, we've just been told in REA, not sure why the graphic is saying Yun there. Andrew Karen is who we are on board with. There we go, it's changed now. The Canadian driver. And Tristan, this track, such a unique circuit. It has bits of everything: fast corners, tight corners, nice flowing sections to the circuit, good long straights to get the power down. It's really got a good mixture of everything, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, 100%. It's even got a completely different grip model that you might see compared to some other tracks, because certain parts of the track are actually not made of your traditional asphalt. Like we mentioned earlier on, built on previous World War II air bases, there's some concrete filled in on the floor here, and it does indeed change how these tires grip and how the drivers actually have to manage that. You can also see on some corners here, if you're new to this circuit and you've never seen Sebring in your life, you might be thinking, my goodness, these drivers are using their track limits to the absolute brim here, and it almost looks like they're completely exceeding it, but that's actually how Sebring works. Sometimes the car actually just goes completely out of the white line, and that's actually the legal limit here at Sebring in order for these cars to take these corners. You can see it on board right now with Andrew Karen completely left of the white line there, and that's actually how these cars take it. So like you say, this is an incredibly rare circuit among some of them that we have here on iRacing. It's a really good one, and it's a traditional one for the drivers, and it's really going to be a good one to watch. But I think before we go on, we also need to just think about what's keeping these drivers boosted, and some of the big names powering on here through the league at Foxxtecca. The drivers are absolutely roaring on with some roasted record, and I believe it's been named the official fuel here for the drivers pumping through their qualifying laps. It's really going to help them get that energy levels up, as well as the African American Automotive Association just being in here to assist the drivers and just be another major sponsor of the league here by Foxxtecca. And I mean, it's always an incredible thing, you know, Matt, just to see some great partnership and stuff coming throughout with any league that actually participates in racing.
100%, and what great partners they are to a fantastic league after week one. Getting more partners on board is even more special towards this fantastic championship. Where will Nesov be at the moment? P3 is his first lap time. 2 minute 1.8 by Karen was the provisional pole time. Keep an eye on Nesov. Nicholas Laubish is in this week. I've had the pleasure of commentating on him before. Seriously quick driver. Watch out for him. And we've got a few, like I said, 41 cars on the grid this week. Drivers such as Rob Holland, who is Pikes Peak, I believe it was. He's got some records out there and was a former British touring car driver as well. So keep your eyes out for Rob Holland out on the circuit for his first race of the season. Of course, this championship does have that drop round, and the drop round is your lowest score. It will be removed from, if that's correct, Chris, the lowest score will be not counted towards the championship this season?
Correct, yeah. So we'll take, well, there's 8 races, so we'll take the lowest one and flush that one down the toilet. So, you know, if Sebrings is kryptonite for somebody, they can kind of chalk that one up, and I think that's a great feature for these guys. And if they miss a race, it doesn't hurt them. So, no, it might give guys, knowing that they can kind of scratch one off the list, they might push a little bit harder. Oh, look at these two twinsies over here. I love the liveries. I'm big on how these cars look. I love the look of the McLaren selfishly, but there's some really sweet liveries here.
It is. I am a big fan of the red and black there on Richard Wedston and a few of the other cars in front. That is Thomas Critchell. The Team DWR Sim Coach Setups liveries. They are looking rather nice in the red and black on this McLaren as the WSR liveried. Andrew Carron crosses the line and does improve on his last time, so 201.289 is that provisional pole. That was a spinner there in the first section. Hooverson goes provisional pole for the time being. We're going to see the lap times improve as we go through 2 minutes lap. We've got about 2 laps left on the board. Remember, at the 10-minute mark, qualifying will end, so if you are just starting a lap at that 10-minute mark, qualifying will end, so you will not be able to finish that final run. Here then, at Sebring, traffic, it's such a good job this track is so big, because traffic, look at it all, coming down the main straight. And this is the bonus and the beautiful thing about a 10-minute qualifying, Tristan, is you've not really got time to find a gap. You want to get the lap times on the board and make sure you get as good a qualifying as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, now is the pinnacle time, especially for anybody watching, to keep your eyes peeled on that live timing tower, because the tires are now warm. You can see the drivers are really starting to feel the pace pull in. And like we mentioned, Gregory Hooverson already up to pole here with the 201.2. And I really do think we're going to see a breakage done to the 2-minute flats here in a couple of laps time, because like we spoke about, track evolution is definitely a thing, but also car and tire evolution plays a massive factor here, especially at such a hot circuit. So just in a couple of laps, you're going to see some more, even faster lap times breaking through. And I mean, you can see just at the bottom of your screens over there, there's loads of green bars as drivers are passing through their sectors. And that just does prove that times are getting slowly faster and faster. And it's only just but increasing. But like we mentioned, 2 minutes left now of qualifying. Once that timer hits 10, qualifying is done. So you want to make sure that you've got those times in, because that's where you'll be starting for race 1. And obviously, like we mentioned, the top 8 will be reversed for race 2, which just adds a little bit more action, and the strategy definitely needs to be played correctly. But this is definitely going to come down to how each driver takes the rest of this qualifying session.
Indeed it is.
Look at all these flags out there on all these drivers. It looks like the United Nations.
We were talking about this, wasn't we, off air, Chris? It's such a good variety of nations, from Europe to Asia to North and South America. It's absolutely fantastic to see not just a variety of skill level, but a variety of nationalities.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, there's just loads of diversification up and down. Yeah, I mean, I think we were having a bit of a naming game just before here, just trying to identify all of the couple of flags that you don't usually see. Obviously, you know, you've always got your common flags like the Canadian flag and the American flag and the big names out there in the world, but there is so much more rare flags that you don't find that reveal themselves in moments like this. And I mean, I think, Chris, you mentioned it before, this is exactly why you love motorsport racing, is just seeing those colors shine out on track.
100%. I love that part of racing, that it's almost like a world stage. Every race is almost like the Olympics for us. And then this platform creating this was exactly why I wanted this platform. People from all nationalities, all walks of life can really come out here and feel comfortable in the space and race. So many times I've read the message boards, and there'll be various comments on reasons why people don't feel comfortable. But here, this is why we created it, and it's showing, right? Look at all the people who are showing up. This is the second week, and we have new signups. So, I'm excited.
And remember, if you want to take part in this championship, make sure you head over to apexracingleague.com/Foxxtecca to sign up for the future events. We head to Road America next week before Monza, Watkins Glen, Bathurst, Okayama, and then Road Atlanta, as qualifying has come to an end. And it is pole position for Gregory Hooverson, the Apex Racing Academy driver, who had such a hit-and-miss race last week. But he's on pole position today alongside his fellow Canadian driver in Andrew Carron. Balaz Pala is P3, Alexei Nesov is 4th place, Nicholas Laubish P5 with Michael Polasek in P6, Andre Castro will be alongside Nick DePaula, Colin Queen from Mike Brooks, Zohair Ahmed and Cameron Brown round out the top 12.
Yeah, taking it on then from a little bit further down, we've got 13th Tyrone Roberts, who we spoke to just in our practice session. Russell Soto follows him with Lucas Souza, and Tyler Campbell just in 16th position. Zane Smith in 17th with Miles Brown just a little bit further down in 18th. Alessandro Torchio in 19th, followed by Kyle Robertson from Jamaica. Richard Wedstead in 21st with Chris Wetz in 22nd, followed by Xavier Bulliner and 24th. Not even rounding off this grid. That's how big this is, as the likes of, like I said, 24th Anthony Jenkins.
25th for Jesse Loverin from Justin Bassett in 26th place. Thomas Churchill in 27th. Rain Woodside in 28th. Ismail Arafeg in 29th. 30th place is Alan Weir. Lance Fenderson from Jack Lindner. Mike Mann, Jonathan Laws. Andrew Yun is 35th, and then Tyler King is 36th.
And that's still not the grid finished. We've still got a couple more drivers. Rob Holland in 37th, followed by Lewis Holloway in 38th. And Luis Garland in 39th, followed by Kamari Odom in 40th. Anthony Cuthbert in 41st. And Zane Khan rounds off this absolutely huge grid of 42 McLaren 720S GT3s here at Sebring. This is going to be a great race.
There's another one snuck in during the end of that practice session, I reckon, because I counted 41. So 42 cars make up this grid. At the minute, the drivers will be getting ready to take to the grid. The lights are about to go. We are missing Rob Holland from the grid. He has not taken to the grid for this, the start of this race. And the safety car will take them away to the opening part of the lap. I believe full formation lap here at Sebring. The safety car will pull into the pit lane at the end of the lap, and it will be that of Gregory Hooverson, who can take us away to the green lights then. What are we expecting, Chris, in this race? It could be drama coming into that first corner, couldn't it? We saw it at Spa last week. It was pretty clean to get away, but turn one here at Sebring, bumpy and a completely different layout. So what are we expecting into turn one?
Honestly, I expect a little chaos. I agree with you. Spa was definitely, smooth sailings for the most part, but I think people got a lot to prove today. The track conditions aren't ideal, and so, it's going to be, I hope it's not bumper cars, but I definitely going to see some rubbing and some interesting things happening, so it'll be fun regardless.
Yeah, I think main advantage that we have here, just to possibly avoid a little bit of turn one chaos, is that Sebring has a massively wide turn one, which is potentially going to play as a good advantage. It really depends on how the drivers take the corner and how they prioritize their space. But I mean, I was also going to mention, some of the techniques here for tire warming, but I don't even think there might even be some techniques being pulled here just based on how hot this track is. I mean, 130 degrees Fahrenheit track temp. You said 55, 56 degrees on the floor here as well, Matthew. So, I mean, I don't even know if much brake dragging is going to be happening at a track like this. These tires are going to be warm very quick. Yeah,
you're possibly going to get a little bit of heat into, aren't you, on this formation lap? But you don't want to overdo it because you don't want to end up into turn one, tyres too hot, and off you go. But yeah, it's going to be tricky for these drivers out there. This is possibly one of the most key moments of this race, getting them tyres and brakes where you need them with such temperatures. out here today. There is Nicholas Laubisch on the webcam, the German driver, sat P4 in qualifying. Where will he be come the end of this race? One thing to mention as well, Tristan, around this circuit, some of these curbs, again, like we've said, the corners and the layout of this track's very unique and different. The curbing, some are very raised and some are very flat where you can ride. It, again, catches drivers out, doesn't it? Because some corners you're really all over the curb. The next part, you may hit one and it unsettle the car.
Yeah, it's, I think it gives a little bit of... Yeah, go for it, Chris.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, straight. Sorry, cool. So I was just saying, definitely a Nürburgring type style where you think of it like it's very phased in terms of like, you know, exactly how you say. One corner is like, ooh, I can absolutely take this curb at full speed. The next corner, if you've lost a little bit of orientation due to the racing around you and you mount a curb that is not meant to be mounted, that could literally be race end. If you lose the rear of this McLaren, like Chris has actually mentioned with a couple of the drivers he's spoken to, the rear end is volatile on this machine and it does happen often. And it's definitely going to be something we have to look out for, Matthew, because these curbs, like you say, can get dangerous.
Indeed, they can. The drivers come to the final two corners of this formation lap. The safety car will pull off into the pit lane as it comes around. It is Hooverson on pole position from his Canadian Conrad, if you will, Andrew Carron, to lead the pack away. The safety car dives into the pit lane. And for the third race of this season, Hooverson's already decided to go, and we are green here at the Sebring International Raceway. It is a great start from Hooverson already, pulling a bit of daylight between himself and second place. That is Nesov going side by side and three wide in towards turn one. They come around now. Look at that car. Place trying to capitalise on this. Nesov couldn't get through, and then now back to two abreast in towards turn two. There you go. That is Pala, who's got alongside and ahead now of Carron into 3 and 4. They come tight and twisty for the opening part of this lap, but Hooverson there got away well. Few spinners in the background pack and a bit of drama we've seen already.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a chaotic start. I mean, we even saw that Gregory Hooverson taking a completely different line on turn one to try and avoid a little bit of contact there. It did work, but oh my goodness, there is action underneath the bridge. There is so many bumpers coming off of these GT3s flying, and debris is lying all over the track and concrete here of Sebring. What an eventful start it has been. Every driver is trying to capitalize all that they can here, but unfortunately one slip up here and a car turns sideways, it creates a blockade, and that's exactly what happened. A couple of drivers just landing up in a feud of fire over there, and loads of drivers unfortunately missing a couple of components there of that GT3.
Haller has got away in second place in chase of Hooverson, and Nesov now is all over the back of Carron. A bit of a train of cars from third all the way down to P6 or 7. Nesov looking to hunt down for another podium early on in this race on the back of Carron, with then that of Laubisch, Polasek and Castro all in the background, lingering as much as they can. There were so many drivers in the pits where you were saying that there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers, 6 drivers in the pits. That is a lot of cars with a lot of damage. Others may have continued on their way, but it's Hooverson from Pala leading the pack from then Carron, Nesov, Laubisch, Polasek, Castro, De Paula, Campbell and Ahmed, as Nesov goes for the move up the inside into the final corner of that of Carron. Great move up the inside, gets it done on the exit, can run fully out wide to the tyre wall. Side by side here as well for Tyler Campbell. That is him, and I believe De Paula. That is Campbell hanging on to that place for P8 at the moment, but De Paula not let this one go. And a little further down the field, Arafeg at the moment in 19th, hanging on in there over that of King. And there is action no matter where you look at the end of this first lap.
Yeah, absolutely. It's up and down. I mean, Andrew Carron and the likes of Laubisch are continuously changing positions up to the top. Same with Nick De Paula, as well as Campbell in 8th and 9th. And further even down, it looks like Brown has completely fallen off the top 25 leaderboard there. Looks like he had a bit of a rough start to the first lap, and he's fallen quite a far amount off though. But now on board with the Walk Racing Esports team driver Tyler Campbell in 9th. Now trying to chase back down on Nick De Paula. A little bit further down, Tyrone Roberts, the driver we spoke with just before this race, saying how much he was struggling in this car, is managing to find the grip here and actually managed to keep himself alive with 13th, just chasing down Brooks just in front of him. And this is exactly what this race is going to be, Matthew and Chris. It's just going to be a train fight here at Sebring, just trying to find that grip in the McLaren and get that advantage out of those corners, finding that speed. And you can see the bumpers are hugging each other over here. Tyrone is aggressively trying to hold back there. And just a little bit of a replay, a little bit further back, the pile-up on board here with Cameron Brown. You can see just side by side over there, and a little bit of a touch in front and just nowhere to run. And there's the blockade we were talking about, completely sideways over the track. And it just causes a massive feud, continuous bumpers being touched. My goodness, and it just falls all the way off underneath the bridge. I mean, Chris, I don't know if you've seen that happen before in racing, but that was absolutely intense.
Yeah, there was a lot going on, and man, there's just a whole lot of contact. And just when you thought it was in the clear, then the guy got tapped on the side. Man, there was a lot going on. Hopefully, quick repairs and some guys could get back out there.
Yeah, 8 cars in the pits at the end of the lap, whether they drove in or returned, got towed into the pits. It was Cameron Brown who got tapped twice. You know, like you saw a few cars, Days of Thunder style there, trying to just keep it through the pack of cars, and it got to the bridge and you could just go no more. This is Tyler King then going side by side with that of Critchell just behind him through the final corner, managing to hang on to P19 at the moment and doing quite well. Torchio though has got past that. He's now side by side, with that of Roberts up the inside into turn 2, gets the job done. He moves up into 13th place. Does Torchio there, and that's a great little move in towards turn 2. There's been some big climbers already. Tyler King in 19th place has gained 17 positions. So is Anthony Cuthbert down in 24th. Big movers up the order in this race so far, and Cuthbert hanging on in there over that of Zane Khan, who started at the back of the pack. If you remember, he's up into 24th, and he's going to go right around the outside of Cuthbert. That was a lovely move from Khan, and Cuthbert could do nothing about that one.
Absolutely incredible art of demonstration there of traction control from Zane Khan. Incredible outside player over there. And I mean, like you said, starting from the back, obviously taking a bit of a safer approach. He completely avoided all forms of contact that happened over there on lap 1. And it seems to have worked out for him all the way up from 42nd to 24th. Almost, I mean, as you can see there on the leaderboard, 16 positions gained for Cuthbert and 18 for Khan. So both of them pulling a very similar strat. Now actually reaping from the rewards up into the 25th positions over here, and possibly looking to fight it up further and get up into that top 20 position. But on board here with Andrew Yoon, who's also just trying to find that car's sweet spot of the McLaren over here. The tires are extremely hot here around Sebring, like we spoke about earlier, and the temperature does not seem to be dropping as of yet, so it's still going on. But 6 minutes in, and look at that train of note. It is all the way down the straight over there with cars back and forth with each other, bumper to bumper, and it's going to continue to go on like this for the remainder of this race.
Mike Mann came into the pits at the end of the second lap. Everybody's back out on track bar Anthony Jenkins. We didn't get Rob Holland start this race. Jesse Laverin has just gone to the pit lane as well. So that's 2 cars in. This is Thomas Critchell, though, in 19th place ahead of King, and Khan has now got past Fenderson in the background, so he's up to 23rd place. Really is making the moves is Zane Khan at the moment, but it's Thomas Critchell so far managing to hang on in there over King at the moment through turn 1. There you go. This is lap 4 of this race. 6 minutes, just approaching the 7-minute mark in this one. That's a car bouncing along the grass. It was a back marker staying off the way of the lead cars. Hopefully can get back on the circuit properly. It is Lewis Holloway and rejoins now. Nice and safely done. But Chris, this is going to be the problem for these cars that are a lap down now. They've got to try and stay out of the way of such a big field.
100%. It's finding that middle ground between pushing and and then being safe. It's you want to get points at the end of the day and drive safe, but at the same time you want to be competitive. So it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of movement up and down this track, side to side. Guys trying to fight these temperatures and these conditions. So we will see.
Indeed we will. This is Alexei Nesov, who's got past Karen at the end of lap 1. Hasn't pulled away from Karen, though, at the moment. Got Karen still creeping on the bumper with Laubish behind him as well. Coming towards the back part of the lap now, and really interesting to see the different lines through there. Laubish took a bit more of a tighter line. All in the slipstream now, then down the back straight towards the final corner. There you go. This is going to be an interesting bit of slipstreaming going on by Karen. He's not really gaining a lot at this moment in time. Not close enough to have a look into these final couple of corners. Really does, though, under the braking. Look at the amount he gains, and that's because Laubish has gone up the inside, so he's had to run a little deep because Laubish has made the move, and a great move it was indeed. Hooverson there being caught by Pala just ever so slightly, and Laubish now moves up into P4. Nesov still got to keep one eye on them mirrors behind him, though, because Laubish, quick driver, and he'll be hunting him down at the moment. But it is 1-2 for Hooverson Pala. They're in their own little fight. This is a fight for that final podium spot.
Yeah, and I mean, you can just see it there from Nicholas Laubish. Yeah, I mean, with the camera in the bottom left, that man is laser focused to try and get that final podium position, and it's going to be like this continuously throughout the race. And we shouldn't also forget that there is still that battle for first right now, because Ballas Parla is slowly catching up to Hooverson, but currently Zahir Ahmad just fighting a little bit of bumper bashing there, that looks like with Queen, but currently just sitting in front of him. It is bumper to bumper once again between these McLarens, and the train is as long as it can be. Mike Brooks a little bit further, as well as Torchio trying to look for a way around, but now you can see the alternate lines being taken there by Colin Queen, trying to find a little bit of less dirty air and possibly get that car with a better exit. And that's exactly how you gain those positions coming out into the straights. A little bit more speed and acceleration, and it does allow you to make the dive. The switchback, though, for Colin Queen, does it work? Incredible move just up the inside, and it's complete trickery there for Ahmad. He loses 2 positions, actually, because Brooks saw the opportunity and onto the inside line now. Also takes it. Torchio is got the slipstream behind, and it looks like it might be a triple position loss here for Ahmad if he can't hold off against Torchio. Incredible movement here in the mid-pack here. The battle for 10th is definitely on, and this is going to be one to note just as much as the pole battles. And it's going to go on like this further on, but there's a couple of battles as well, because Lucas Souza is just on the cup of fighting there in 18th position, about to pass Bessett, and it goes on like this for the rest of the race. There he makes the position. Souza's up, Bessett's actually out, and Bessett just losing out there. And I think that might just be connection loss. We heard that from the tower, and that is an unfortunate loss. He was in a good battle, and this is how it's going to continue. Torchio up the inside, and my goodness, the position losses for Ahmad has not been great this lap.
No, it hasn't for him, and what a move, though, it was from that of Queen. He really jinked left and right and made Ahmed look all over before he put the move on him. This is Cuthbert down the order in 24th place at the moment, on the back of Fenderson. Pulls out now to that inside line, brakes a little earlier. That's put Fenderson deep, though. He's gone a little later on the brakes, and that'll be a great move for Cuthbert up the inside. It's not done yet, though, from Fenderson. It is now as they exit the final corner. Just a little too late on the brakes there. Maybe a little too cautious coming into the final corner. But it is a great move for Cuthbert. Moves himself up to 23rd place, up 18 places. And Ahmed there down, like we said, 3 places on that last lap, especially. Now Fenderson's coming under pressure from Yoon then in the background. This is a battle for the lead, just dipping under half a second. Hooverson here then, now starting to feel a bit of the pressure from the Hungarian driver behind them. The gap has slowly there just come down lap by lap, and it dips to that half a second mark as we approach the halfway stage of this first race. Hooverson is the man who leads it, and look in the background, Laubish has not let go of Nesov at all in this race. And Chris, these drivers out at the front of this pack really showing their class here.
Oh, they are. They're definitely running a clean race. They're running a tight race, and you can see it from them pulling from the pack. So it's very skillful. Great to see.
Fastest lap,
yeah, absolutely incredible stuff. But yeah, as you mentioned, fastest lap of the race goes to Ballas Parla with a 2:01.1, and really showing the pace now. He's starting to catch up slowly but surely to Gregory Hooverson. And I mean, Ballas Parla, first race of last week's event, came 3rd, and he's looking to actually make it an even better finish here, already in 2nd, and now chasing down for the lead. You can see he's got the slipstream because the gap is getting shorter and shorter, down to 4.3 tenths now, and it's all going to come down to the rotation of the car around the corners. Nicholas Laubish, though, is also, like you mentioned, Matthew, not letting go of Nesov at all. He knows that Nesov reigning right now in the championship standings after the first 2 races last week, and he is hungry for those positions, as you can see just on the back bumper there of Nesov. And once again, like you mentioned, Chris, the liveries are absolutely popping over here. That beautiful pink, white and blue from Nesov, and we've got some yellow and black over here from Laubish. The diversification just also provides that pump as well that we get to see here in the racing.
I love the way these liveries look. These liveries look absolutely awesome. There's some new ones out there. There's one that's like a Tiffany blue and black. I think it's the roasted record, the new one that's in there. There's a lot. That black and green, I'm really partial to green. And anything orange, you pretty much got me as a win. So I'm loving what I'm seeing out there.
Here is the roasted record.
Look at that.
Of the league. Here by Foxxtecca, the beautiful, what's that, like a sky blue and a bit of black. That is
that's really nice
looking livery there for Colin Queen at the moment. Was just looking at the timing tower as well there. Pala last lap 2/10 quicker than Hooverson, and Nicholas Laubish was a bit quicker than Alexei Nesov. So interesting to see the pace difference at the moment. That could all be down to that bit of slipstream on the back straight, which is gaining them that time in terms of the better lap times. They're not gaining too much, staying at that half a second mark. This is Alessandro Torchio, though, down in 12th place, running the green and black. I'm a big fan of anything with green or blue on it, to be fair, and that is a nice one from Torchio. He's on the back of Brooks at the moment. Onto the back straight they come once again, looking back from Mike Brooks. Torchio at the moment just happy to sit and follow. Oh, just over 14 minutes gone in this first race. Remember, race 2 will be decided by the race results apart from that top 8. So at the moment, Tyler Campbell will be the man who will start on the pole position for race number 2. But Torchio got a great run out the final corner, gets a little bit closer to that rear wing of Brooks. Is he going to have a look into turn 1? Late pull out, thinks about it, has a look, sends it up the inside. That's a great move from Torchio, who gets the job done now. And that was absolutely perfectly set up out the final corner.
Yeah, no, that was a slingshot of note there from Torchio, and I mean, you saw the slipstream there, just slowly but surely getting up on the bumper, and I was just thinking there, Matthew, where is he going to go? Is he going to take this right? Is he going to dive left? And he did exactly what we're all thinking. He took that left line as fast as possible, and he made that stick. But I actually wanted to ask you a question there, Chris. I mean, we asked the drivers a couple of pre-season questions here, and a couple of drivers really living up to that fictional character they chose. Do you know how many drivers in this league picked Lightning McQueen as their fictional character of choice?
It was absolutely insane reading through the list that Lightning McQueen was. I don't know what they have against Lightning McQueen, but everybody wants a piece of him. And I think somebody else said, I think I saw Buzz Lightyear. There was some crazy answers.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we also saw Shrek as well. But I mean, I think the piece they want of Lightning McQueen is the racing style. We know it from the Cars movie. I'm telling you now, everybody's watched it. Very aggressive driving style from the main character there. And we can see it from these drivers. I mean, look at this constant fighting up and down this grid over here. Kyle Robertson also with the cam in the bottom. You can see hyper-focused, just trying to make it work. And also loving, I think that's some Jamaican flag accessory there on the back of his seat, which is really cool, but getting pushed off the track as well, unfortunately, and not looking too good there. That's again another triple position loss there that we're seeing for the second time. It was Khan was Ahmad, sorry, the last time, and now, unfortunately for Robertson. But this is how it's going to go. I mean, we've got about 9 minutes left of racing, Matthew, and I mean, what are our expectations here? Because currently Hooverson is getting chased down rapidly by Parla.
I'll tell you one thing that we need to figure out is we got to talk to Mike Brooks at some time, because he responded that he wanted to race Grandpa Joe from Willy Wonka. I'm not sure what Grandpa Joe has done to him, but he wanted a piece of him. So we got to figure that one out.
Zenkar making another move there, but you're right in what you say, Tristan. It is an interesting one. Hooverson being caught slightly. Been half a second for a while. It's dropped down to 4/10. It's a lot closer than 4/10 that looks like, but it is 4/10 still. Seeing a lot of Speed Racer and Ricky Bobby as well in there for fictional characters. That's an interesting one to keep our eyes on throughout this season. The only one I've really seen is Ayrton Senna. I can see that there's a real driver that somebody's answered with. So, yeah, an interesting one to read, and it's great to have this page of all this information from the drivers. It just gives us an extra bit of insight into what they like, what they enjoy, what they've raced or haven't raced in, and it's fantastic to get that information. The battle I'm interested in though, Tristan, P3, Nesov, Laubish, they are still inseparable at this moment in time. I think Laubish could be in for a move here. We was told before we came on air that they used to be in the same team, used to be teammates back in the day, no longer teammates now. So gloves off, 6 minutes left of 7 minutes left of racing, and I think it's elbows out to the end here.
Yeah, no, there's no Zach Brown control in the ears here of these drivers. There's no more team calligraphy over here. And this is going to be a fight down towards the end of this race, because look at the nose of that black and yellow McLaren, because Laubish is starting to get tired now. You can see just behind Laubish is Karen, who's also keeping into this fight. And this is how it's going to go continuously. Laubish wants to get past Nesov over here before he gets made a fool of from behind by Karen, because Karen is also looking to potentially climb up the leaderboard here, but Laubish is trying to defend and also be offensive towards Nesov just in front. So it's that one of the tough parts about racing is managing expectancies from front and behind, and you can see he is taking it slightly differently to Nesov. Nesov braking slightly earlier, getting a little bit better rotation and a little bit better exit out of the corners, whereas Laubish getting very close to the rear end of that blue and pink McLaren and then losing a little bit of a gap just coming out of the corner. So you can see the driving styles really starting to show here here at Sebring, and this is how it's going to keep on going here. We've got about 6 minutes left of racing here, not much time left for these drivers to make positions. Michael Polisek has got Castro just behind him also, trying to oppose a threat here. The two McLarens really fighting each other, and these guys actually look like they've got polar opposite liveries. We've got like a primary white on the one in front and a primary red on the one at back, but kind of looking like they're almost teammates, but two different brands over there actually. But Xavier Bullina a little bit further down in 22nd, with Ismail Arafag in 21st. And just having a look at all the drivers passing through them as we go down. And there's the position made. And Andre Castro, that looked like he made a bit of a dive. We might be able to get a replay of that. But it looked like Castro made the dive, and unfortunately just didn't work. Polisek read that like an absolute book, but Matthew's going to go through with that as we get the replay coming up shortly.
Yeah, the Marlborough McLaren from back in the 90s of Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost. It comes through, good bit of slipstream, now looks to get underneath on that left-hand side, going to tuck back again to that right-hand side now, little later on the brakes, completely misses the apex of the corner, and that is just up and under for that of Polisek to get the position back. He also, Castro, lost a little bit of time. This is Critchell and King coming through together. Critchell making that move on King. Contact made now, and King is the one who was lost out. He tapped the back of Critchell, and he's the one who's had a big slide and a big moment there to lose out. That's not cost him any other places. That is the US Army car who's had a big moment lap down. That is Justin Bassett, who we got to speak to last week. The US Army esports car having a huge moment behind that of the slow car in P19 to get away. Also, Zane Khan now on the back of where was we? I can't remember who was on now. We're on
Colin Queen, just behind Colin Queen now.
But Zane Khan, it was King who had the slide. Zane Khan on the back of him. He come from the back of the grid, remember, up to P20. But we're on with Colin Queen. Torchio has rapidly caught onto the back of Colin Queen at the moment. The roasted record racing car coming through with, what, about 2 laps left after this one, I'd say, in this race. Torchio really showing that he's got some pace in that McLaren tonight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Torchio has really been a menace tonight. I mean, I think all three of us can agree this man is on a mission to climb up to the top 10 over here, and he's just one position away from making this happen. He has made some absolutely incredible dive bombs a little bit further on in the past couple of minutes, and he has really made them stick. He has not made any mistakes. He's really made a flawless race this race, and he's going to continue to do it here. We've got 4 minutes left, and like you say, Matthew, not even like 3 laps. This is like 2 laps left of racing here. And a little bit further down, Andrew Yoon is really trying to hold off from behind there. That's Garland just fighting him from behind. And there comes Zane Smith with the dive on the outside. Gets a little bit of a better exit. Oh, a little bit of contact, actually. But looks like the sim coach setups team over there manages to sneak by. And looks like Garland pulling it back a little bit there. Didn't get the best of exits. And now here comes Zane Smith, already looking to attack Yoon up on the inside line into the next corner. I believe the next corner is actually going to be in the outside now. He's flipped it around. And not sure if he's going to go for the switchback or he's going to hold the outside, but looks like he's got it. Will Yoon concede? He does indeed give the position. And through the chicane, Zane Smith goes in 27th, fighting it out. A little bit further up, though, Alexei Nesov, and my goodness, Matthew, it is closer and closer because we've got a couple of laps left here. And look at how close the battle for third position is over here.
Laubish is pushing. He wants that podium on his first race in the league by Foxxtecca. They all clatter the curb coming through turn 3. Karen hasn't given this one up. Started on the front row of the grid, down in P5 at the moment He's following Laubish and Nesov through. He wants a piece of this action with 2 laps to go. Laubish looking and looking as Nesov defends that inside line. Laubish to the outside, giving each other just about enough room. This could be Karen's opportunity to capitalise. Not through there though. Laubish tucks back in the middle, and this is where Laubish has got to have one eye forward, one eye going backwards. But Torchio at the moment looking to the outside of Colin Queen into the hairpin. Nearly contact again as Torchio turns in a little too early, and he's now been compromised. That is not a happy flash of the lights. That is a definite disgruntled flash of the lights from Torchio there. But I think, Torchio, my friend, you was the one who turned in a little early. Tyler King on the defensive now after he had a moment to Zane Khan, and Zane Khan not able to get through at the moment. These two big climbers, Zane Khan up 22 spots, Tyler King up 17. And speaking about liveries, going back to our Jamaican driver, Tyrone Robertson, the helmet design he's got there is absolutely fantastic. As Zane Khan dives on the inside of that of King and gets moved on. That was Critchell who had span on the left-hand side. He's returned to the pit lane, and that gives both of them an extra place. So it's like Tyler King hasn't lost anything. And Laubish now tucks left, ducks right, looking to the outside. Karen tries to go underneath with him. Nesov and Laubish side by side through the final corner. Got to give him room on the exit. Laubish still got a nose just there, not anymore. Nesov gives him plenty of room though, and they come now, Tristan, onto that final lap. Laubish is looking to try and make this move for the podium.
Yeah, here comes the slingshot that we saw with Torchio. It could potentially happen again, and he actually gets it blocked off there because Nesov covering the inside line does not allow the slingshot to happen. And look at how Laubish is ravaging around, and the dive is made up onto the inside, and now Karen is potentially looking for that. He actually gets bumped out and loses out in that fight, but that was potentially a double position loss there for Nesov. He manages to recover both. And now back up into 3rd position. Laubish is so hungry for this position. He's looking for every moment to try and get in front of this car. And you can see it. Look at how late he's braking, trying to get around. Karen behind, almost actually hitting the back there of Laubish. And this is getting extremely close because I believe it might be final lap here almost. Here at Sebring Race 1, the white flag is waved. We heard from the back. It is final lap. And this is time to push for Laubish. This is time to push for Pala. He's 3 tenths behind Hooverson as well. This is a massive fight throughout the whole top 5 over here. Look at the back wing there of Nesov. Look at how close the black and yellow McLaren is getting. Just further behind though, the Canadian McLaren is also pursuing on as tight as he can. And this train is just going to go on and on for these final moments. On board here with Andrew Karen, you can see he's dropped off a slight bit over here. But coming through these final corners, we've seen what these drivers can do. We know their expectations, and we know how hungry they are to get these final positions. Like you mentioned, Matthew, Laubish wanting to get his first podium here for the league by Foxxtecca, and this is 1 position away from getting that podium.
That's a great run from Karen out of the corner onto the back straight. He's got side by side with Laubish. Laubish has got that slipstream from Nesov. Pala and Hooverson, they're going at it for the lead of this race into the final corner. Hooverson's going to lose out at the very last moment because Pala takes the checkered flag and will win here at Sebring as they push each other across the line. Nesov will hang on into P3 from Laubish in 4th. Karen will stay in P5. And that was absolutely dramatic at the end. We'll see what happened into that final corner. But Chris, what a dramatic end to this race.
What a race. The fighting, the last minute of guys trying to get their positions. Man, this was awesome.
This is what happened then at that final corner.
See this replay.
Run down the slipstream from Pala. He's not exactly close, Tristan, coming into the final corner. Must have been a slight mistake. No, more committed on the brakes. Look at the speed he takes in. Bit of door bank there, bit of hip and shoulder. Was that a little bit of a push to pass? Well, the stewards are the ones who's going to have to decide that one. Hooverson then tries to give him some back, and they cross the line. And look in the background there. There is Laubish, Nesov and Karen, and still bit of hip and shoulder. And they are 2 disgruntled drivers. This is a overhead shot, Tristan, and look at how far Pala came back from.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely where the nudging is coming from at the end. I think Hooverson thinks this might have been a little bit not so fair. You can see the bump to, like you mentioned there, the push to pass, just pushing him off his line there, and losing significant speed over there, and just losing out 18 hundredths of a second to Ballas Pala. just managing to squeeze the win here. But like you mentioned, this is now in the hands of the stewards to analyze this and let us know what is going to happen towards the end of this, because that is going to be an extremely close one. That determines the win of race 1. And super unfortunate there for Hooverson for losing out just after holding that for the entire race. But Russell Soto comes across the line here, 29th position, and he's got Brown just a little bit further behind him. Cameron Brown coming across. And like we mentioned, Cameron Brown, involved in that lap 1 incident, was the driver turned sideways and crossing the line in 30th position to finish off strong. Lowers comes across as the final driver, I believe, in 35th to finish off this race. But a little bit further there, still Jack Lindener in 36, still coming across. I'm not too sure if he looks a bit slow there. His last was a 256, and looks like he's just nursing that car back home. But Chris, man, what an absolute race that was. What a massive finish that was.
No, the contact was insane. They're trying to close out. They're nudging for space. I'm glad I'm not the steward. You have to figure out what the final answer is on this one. But all the way up and down the grid has been awesome positioning and racing. Unfortunate for the crashes earlier, but, you know, that is a part of racing, too. Track conditions will cause that.
In the hardest job, Chris, in sim racing is to be the steward and to be race control, to decide the penalties or no penalties given to these drivers. That is the hardest decision. Race result then is Pala, your race winner. What a way to do it at the end. Hooverson second place from Nesov in the podium. Nicholas Labish from Andrew Karen. Michael Polasek from Andre Castro. Tyler Campbell, Nick DePaula. Alessandro Torchio, Colin Queen. Mike Brooks, Zohir Ahmed, Tyrone Roberts. Richard Wedstead, Chris Wetz, Lucas Souza and Zane Khan. What a drive from him from the back of the grid.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's still a couple of drivers further down from 19th. Tyler King, followed by Ismail Arafag, Xavier Bulliner, Anthony Cuthbert, Lance Fenderson, followed by Miles Brown in 24th, Kyle Robertson in 25th, Zane Smith 26th, Lewis Garland and Andrew Yoon 28th, 27th and 28th, Russell Soto and Cameron Brown rounding off the top 30 with Thomas Critchell 31st, Lewis Holloway, Justin Bissett, Alan Ware, and Rain Woodside with 35th position, Jonathan Lowers in 36th, followed by Jack Lindener in 37th, Mike Mann, Jesse Laverin in 39th, Kamari Odom in 40th, Anthony Jenkins in 41st, and Rob Holland finishes off this massive grid, unfortunately 13 laps down in 42nd place. But what a race that was. And I think we've got to give a big hand again. The roasted record really gave these drivers the fuel to keep going, and as well as the African and American Automotive Association just being here again to support these drivers. And you can see these drivers were ready for this race. This was intense battling up and down the field.
And if you like that, well, we've got another one coming straight back up with an extra 5 minutes to be added on to that one as well. And if you remember, the grid order will be set by the race positions of race number 1, except the top 8 will be inverted. We have got a current 3-minute warm-up period just for drivers to take on a bit of fluid, maybe even run to the toilet and get back in their cockpits. But my, oh my, what an opener that was. Chris Spa provided plenty of entertainment, and Sebring so far hasn't disappointed.
Man, this is what I love about racing. It's like any given time when you're on track, anything can happen. And just to see the talent of some of these drivers and their timing and when they decide to make a move and when not to make a move up and down the grid, it's exciting.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a really exciting one, and especially that the drivers have this thought in mind now that this is time for Redemption City to come into play, because from the drivers that we saw last race who did not have the best of finishes, this is their time to redeem themselves. They've learned from possible mistakes in race 1 now. It's the exact same conditions, the exact same track. Obviously, like Matthew said, the positions are now determined according to your race finish, except for the top 8 being flipped. So now this is your time, potentially further down the grid, to make up those positions, potentially do what Torchio and the likes of Khan did through this race, really climb up those ladders and avoid any forms of mass contact that we're hopefully not going to see again in turn 1. Maybe the drivers know how to take turn 1 a little bit better now and avoid those blockades from planting their car 90 degrees. And that's all going to come down now, because warm-up is officially ending, and then we head, no qualifying for this either, it's just straight to the race. And this is really going to be a good one to watch. We know what to expect roughly, but now it comes down to what the drivers can do the second time. Starting off though, Tyler Campbell, like we mentioned, he was in 8th, starts first position now, followed by Andre Castro in 2nd, Michael Polasek in third, followed by Andrew Karen in fourth, Nicholas Laubish, followed by Alexei Nesov. So the three still next to each other, just flipped around now. Gregory Hoverson in seventh, followed by Ballas Paula in eighth. And then from there, it continues as of normal. Nick DePaula in ninth, Alessandro Torchio in 10th, Colin Queen in 11th, and Mike Brooks rounds off for top 12. Yeah, absolutely. So
I think this one, Tristan, to this race, Laubish and Nesov now the opposite way around with Karen in front of them. Hooverson back in front of Pala at the start of this race. Didn't see a lot of Tyler Campbell and Andre Castro in that race, did we? They kind of fell off the back a little bit from the front packs. It's going to be an interesting one to watch with their main key battles that we saw at the front. Zane Khan, though, I'm interested in keeping an eye on him. He was a big climber in that first race. A lot happened. I mean, there was a lot of incidents. Let's not get it wrong there. But Zane Khan, big climber. And this here, great shots from Sam in the broadcasting booth tonight with some of these fantastic liveries on display tonight. The Roasted Records car. Chris, if you had to pick a favourite, I know you've said you like anything orange, but if you had to pick a favourite livery, who would you be giving a shout out to tonight?
All right, we kind of went through this the first race, and I'm going to go through this again this race. I'm not picking any favorites on there. You're not getting me in trouble. I like them all. I'm still not picking. No, I'm partial. Orange is my favorite color, so I'm partial to anything orange. I can't remember what driver it is, but there's like a black car that has like a gold eagle or something on the side of it. That's a really sexy car.
I believe it was. Yeah,
I believe it might be so too.
I love the Foxxtecca car, the kind of the gray one, the number 22. I'm a big fan of that livery.
There we go.
There's the legendary eagle over there. Yeah, we can't be getting.
There's another one. It's black and gold.
We can't be getting
another car, black and gold.
Because I mean, he's got a couple of cars out here on the grid that are a part of him and everything that he runs over here. But I mean, I must say, all these liveries, no matter the style, no matter how they are made, incredible up and down the field. It really does add to the impact of how this league looks. I mean, if you try and picture all of these McLarens just standard black, I mean, it really wouldn't be the same in my opinion. It's really great to differentiate and add a little bit of color and variety to how these drivers' personalities come out in some of these liveries. And you can see, you've got some really talented livery designers, and obviously you've got some that take a little bit more of a plain route. But again, like I say, all liveries look great. It really does apply to how this grid takes it around Sebring over here.
We spoke to a few this week after Spa, and they always gave a big shout out to people who design their liveries, and the guys or girls who make these liveries, absolutely fantastic job. We see week in, week out, whether they're new drivers as well, we get to see some fantastic colours out there on display and on the grid for you guys and girls at home watching from wherever you are watching from. Right, looking at the grid, everybody, bar Kamari Odom and Rob Holland, have taken to the grid in this second race. So we have got 40 cars on the start line, currently on the formation. There's Kyle Robertson, even a lovely helmet design there from Kyle Robertson with the Jamaican colours, Jamaican flag on the sim chair. And if I'm not mistaken, hands just resting on the top of the steering wheel. Doesn't want to be gripping the wheel too tight on this formation lap, trying to relax himself before then lights go green and the serious business starts, because then it'll be gripping that steering wheel as tight as you can until the checkered flag. You're seeing everybody really warming up their tyres down this back straight, and this is going to be an interesting one. The WSR esports car we're looking at there from the back of Tyler Campbell. It is Campbell who is your pole sitter in this race from Andre Castro. And who will be
interesting to see how the approach is. I mean, people are trying to dive 4 wide into turn 1 before. Let's see if that strategy changes.
We might just see the same thing, or we could see a little bit of a better perfection from last race. But as we talk about it, here it comes, because Campbell leads a very aggressive pack of McLarens behind him, holds off on the inside. You can see Laubish, there's contact, massive contact at the back. And that looks like the legendary Eagle spun around first. He's getting mounted at the back there, and there is massive contact. Not even turn 1 has been reached. A couple of drivers going off. There goes Torchio just off the left side. Campbell maintained his lead. Another lap goes off, and another car.
That's Karen.
Around a little bit of a pit maneuver, and that's Karen, who had a massive hand in last race, fighting for the podium. There has just been taken out. Michael Polisek climbs up into first position now with Tyler Campbell in second. Alexei Nesov already in third position, fighting Nicholas Laubish again. My goodness, guys, I thought we were going to have a better start to this. I thought, you know, the drivers are going to have the Lightning McQueen packed away, but there is no form of that here. The elbows were out, nothing happened, and it's just going to happen again and again.
Sorry, Tristan.
Worse than the first race.
Laubish and Nesov, they lent on each other. They both had a bit of a wiggle, and that's opened the door for Pala to have a little look. Laubish and Nesov still side by side, coming through the right-hander. There is contact and bumper-to-bumper action everywhere you look. Laubish and Nesov really fighting aggressively. This has allowed Polisek and Campbell to get away, and Pala now looking up the inside of that of Laubish, nearly into the back of Nesov, pushes Laubish towards the gravel. It has been an absolute chaotic opener to this race. We have lost to the pit lane. 10 cars who started this race have entered into the pit lane, and that's without the ones that's already came out. I think it was 13 cars with the looks of the timing screen have been into the pits or are still in the pits. Absolutely huge amounts of numbers. Pala, though, looking up the inside of Laubish. Laubish now losing out a lot of time to Nesov. That is Castro, who's on the front row of the grid. He's now getting that bump draft from that of Laubish. There's a car just in the background. That is De Paula. No front bumper look on his McLaren, trying to come through in the slipstream as well. And now Pala loses out toward of that of Castro. Laubish stays ahead of them all. I don't know which way to look because Pala's back up the inside. They're three abreast nearly in the background. Hooverson trying to stay out of trouble with Roberts and De Paula. And that is Castro and Pala still going at it. And Hooverson trying to get past as well. There is drama no matter where you look at the opener of this second race. Castro now up the inside, turn one, bit of hip and shoulder again, pushes Pala out, and Pala and Hooverson have come together. Hooverson's off, they're in the wall, they're backwards, they're across the track, and how they haven't hit anybody, I do not know.
Guys, I don't even know what to say here. This is absolutely insane action. Hooverson, from a almost first place finish last race, has now returned to the pit lane after massive contact. We'll potentially try and see if we can get a replay of that race start just to see how all this chaos unfolded. But for now, Michael Polisek is running away so far. Tyler Campbell is holding on. Pala is fighting down in 12th position. Holloway's climbing back up as well in 23rd. But I don't even know what to say. I mean, like you say, Matthew, there's just way too much going on. There is like action up and down. You can see the likes of Nicholas Laubish over there. And looking at the replay just from the back, you can see chaos, everybody trying to fight. There goes a car, there goes the Eagle of Soto, and everybody, chaos everywhere, bumpers to bumpers. And there goes another car climbing, geez, like he did an Alonso from Spa over there, climbing over the other cars. And as you can see, multiple cars returning straight to the pit lane, not even worth trying to complete the lap with that damaged car. And that was probably one of the most interesting, start to a races I've ever seen, Matthew.
It was indeed. We're going to see Polisek getting into the lead here as well. Zane Khan, by the way, started 18th. He's up to 8th place in this race. So this is Polisek, third on the grid. Watch Laubish in the black and yellow car on that inside line, just behind Polisek at the moment. He's going to try and squeeze through a gap. As everybody bunched up, it was such a slow getaway after the safety car had pulled in. Look, Laubish kind of pushing Polisek up the inside, bump drafting him into turn one. Through he goes. And 3 wide on the exit becomes 2 wide, which becomes Polisek in the inside line for turn 2. That is a lovely race start and a great opportunistic move from Michael Polisek there to get himself into the lead of this race. But what a dramatic start. It was as if, Chris, nobody went when the safety car came into the pit. Everybody was cautious, held back, and there was contact from the midfield.
I don't even know how to explain that carnage. I think you thought it was bumper cars. It was just a hot mess going on back there. But, it's unfortunate because people get caught up in the wash. You hate to see racing happen that way, but it is a part of racing.
It is indeed. Pala here.
All I can say is that the Eagle definitely took off there. We saw Soto's car actually taking airborne there and taking the naturality of his car, but now back to the fighting like you were speaking about there, Matthew. Cameron Brown jumps up on the inside line there. Very nice quick overtake there on Arafak, and the fighting just continues throughout the pack over here as Cameron Brown 17 positions gained since the start of this race, and those 17 cars is practically everyone involved in the turn one incident, in the actually can't even say turn one incident. I mean, that was starting grid incident actually. And incredible stuff there. Just as you can see the leaderboard there, 24 positions up for Laverin as well as Jenkins in the likes of 15th and 17th. So both of them really getting those positions well. And Anthony now trying to make up even more positions. He's got Ware in front of him, just searching around the inside and outside, trying to make a dive potentially. You can see more cars in the background there without bumpers, and a couple with a little bit of broken bumpers because of all the contact and massacre that's happened here. And just 5 minutes in, I don't know what to expect for the next 25 minutes, Matthew.
56 car of Ware just in front. You see the bodywork damage on that front bumper of his car. Just be giving him some aero disadvantages on the straights, especially and through the corners. It's just not going to have that top speed that he's going to be wanting. You can see Jenkins closing and closing. Just to put it into perspective, P23 and down as Jenkins moves up the inside, and you see the damage to the front bumper there of Ware's car. Pretty easy for Jenkins. Ware not fighting that one too hard. He knows that he's going to be on the back foot for this race, but P23 down have all been into the pit lane for some issues or another. This is Tyrone Roberts in the background. That is Torchio and Zane Khan, both big movers and shakers in that first race. And Torchio was putting on some moves. Zane Khan fought his way through the field, and Zane Khan is going to move himself up into P7. He's a man who we've got to keep an eye on, I think, because he's got the ability to overtake cars here. We've seen it all night from him. He has put on a masterclass of overtaking, but it is Polasek from Campbell from Nesov, your top three at the moment. And what dramas we have. 23, the top 23. So that's what, 17 cars, I believe, that have been into the pit lane at the start of this race. That is incredible.
Yeah, no, that is a lot of cars that have been taken back from that massive incident on the starting grid. I mean, you can see it there. Look at that McLaren. That is not how McLaren should look. The whole front end is completely missing. And that is unfortunate. That's actually Nick DePaula, who we saw already a little bit earlier with that massive front end damage. And he's really just actually managing this car well, if you ask me, Chris, because he's managing to really get this car going around. He's still fighting for position without an entire front end of downforce. And as you can see there, the likes of Brown, Cameron Brown just behind, really trying to make the move now. Just up on the inside line, it could potentially be it. He's got the nose in, and this could be it, because now DePaula losing a lot of speed from that front end damage, and there he loses the position, unfortunately. And Brown makes a quick overtake there. Bessett also makes an overtake on Ware a little bit further on in the background, as you can see, in a little bit of change over there. And actually up in front as well, Khan just makes a position on Roberts. But here comes Alexei Nesov. The position for second has changed, and Michael Polasek needs to watch out now, because now the reigning champion from the first event, race 1 and 2 from last week, is coming back to hunt down yet another pole. Chris, do you think he can do it? Do you think Nesov can bring it back for another pole?
He's got the skills to do it, that's for sure, but you never know what could happen. There's a lot of talent out on this grid, so, maybe they'd be able to get held off, and you never know who might creep up to the front and be sitting in that first position. So, but he definitely has the skills to do so. He's not ranked top in the world for no reason.
Keep your eyes on Laubish as well, who's on the back of Campbell now. He'll want to be getting through and onto the back of Nesov once again pretty quickly. So Polasek leads, but how long will that last for? Torchio now gets past Roberts for 7th and 8th. Ahmed has got past Holloway for 23rd. Here comes Roberts coming back on Torchio on the grass a little bit there. Squeeze, but gets through finally on Torchio as they come down the right-hand bend coming up. Laubish gets past Campbell on the timing screen. Robertson has passed Ware, and Torchio to the outside line. Where is Roberts appearing from? Nowhere at the minute, because they're still side by side. Ooh. That was Nicholas Laubish. And Campbell, who are both off down the order, and Laubish there then will try and get a replay of what has happened, but he was fighting with Campbell, and they're both off, and they're both in the middle of the track as this car's trying to come through the pack. The rear bumper of Laubish's car comes off, and that is not how he would have wanted his race 2 to go. Torchio did get ahead of Roberts in the end, and that put Zane Khan up into P4. He was at the back of the grid race 1. He's P4. He has been the one who has gained the most positions today, but this is what happened. Laubish looking up the inside. He's there. No contact yet. There it is. There it is. Now, can we get an onboard shot of that? Because I'd quite like to see if Laubish tried to squeeze Campbell a bit there.
Yeah, no, we need to get a little bit of more perspective there, but you can see from the camera at the bottom how angry Laubish was, throwing his hands in the air aggressively there. But as you can see, squeezing, yeah, that's definitely a little bit of a space that was not left there for Campbell. Unfortunately, Laubish just getting a little bit too aggressive on that inside curb, and actually almost rejoining the track not once but twice dangerously. Almost massive contact over there with the one of the white McLarens. But thankfully, both drivers continuing to go now. Laubish down to 14th position on the back of Laverin now, trying to regain the mess that has been made from that incident with Campbell, and now really just trying to recover himself. You can see already being all aggressive once again on Laverin, trying to make his way around a little bit further behind, though. Campbell is trying to do the exact same thing on Jenkins, because both these drivers started, well, at the beginning of this race in the top 5, now wanting to get back. You can see Kyle Robertson super aggressive. The camera at the bottom is even shaking from how aggressively he is flicking that wheel back and forth, and you can see it is an absolute madness trying to keep that green McLaren controlled. And here comes the position, because Jenkins has been dived on by Campbell, trying to get back on by Laubish, and now really just trying to stay behind, because here comes Laverin fighting on the outside line, keeping Laubish behind. And remember, Laubish does not have that rear bumper, so he's lost a little bit of bodywork and a little bit of downforce there, but he does make the position stick. And fortunately for him, the rear wing's still completely intact, so he's got the downforce needed, but just enough there for Laubish to get back past up into 13th. Incredible stuff, though, so far.
Shout out to Castro. He's been just the man of consistency between race 1 and 2 last week. Then I think he finished 7th the last week, and now he's sitting at 3rd. He's my man. He's up there every time.
Just looking back at last week's results, Castro had, I can't actually see him in race 2.
He was leading the second race, and he's the one who kind of got caught out with the gas in the last lap.
Castro at the minute and P3, but he's got Zane Khan, who started at the 42nd on the grid in race 1, and Zane Khan has been moving up the grid. Been some fantastic overtakes, there's been some silly manoeuvres as well in this one. And again, reiterate, the hardest job in racing, it's not us sat in the commentary booth, it's not the drivers sat out on the circuit, it's them stewards and race control who've got to go through every single decision and incident to be looked at, because they are the ones that will be looking at this one. Nicholas Laubish is out of the race. He has tumbled down the order, and this is Laws here getting overtaken by Fenderson, and that is a move for 34th. Laubish has gone, and we'll see what has happened there. We will try and get a replay in case something has happened in an incident that may have caused him to be out of this race, or has he just decided to pull the car into the pits and call it a day? It is wet. P12 at the moment, we believe he towed, so that could be the fact that he has parked the car and called that one a day. And, what a race we've got here. We are just approaching the halfway stage of the race. Oh, look at that one. I quite like that.
That was a nice livery.
Nice livery there. Look at that. Stunning, the grey and yellow.
Very Senna style.
Aerokinetic. Lucas Souza. There you go.
He's like, we've got the variation all over here. I mean, look at this Miles Brown even. That's a really nice massive contact. Sorry, and Justin said,
is that the US Army car again? I believe it is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the US Army car indeed. That whole front right tire is completely locked in from bodywork damage. Let's just have a look here. Laverin's in front, loses the rear, gets hit. Here comes another car, just manages to avoid, and here comes Bessett right into the side of him, and just not able to avoid that contact. Super unfortunate there for the US Army esports driver, and massive damage on both of those McLarens. I don't even think that's Laverin's got the meatball flag, unfortunately. And really not good stuff there. But Roberts, despite the action behind, making a move on the records. The Coffee Records team over there just up into 6th position now, taking that by storm, holding off that inside line, as you can see, and almost actually bumper to bumper there. Very safe though, and once again, that looks like Queen gets right back in by the Roasted Records team, just holding off in front there. Tyrone Roberts has really found his grip, guys. I mean, he was explaining to us that he was really struggling in practice. Now up into 7th position, really starting to fight up in the top 5th. Incredible job from him as well.
That was a great bit of racing. Let's not take anything away from that bit of racing at turn 1 there. Side by side, Zane Korn has moved up into 3rd place ahead of Castro. So he has gone, oh no, well, I say he's moved up into 3rd place. They're absolutely door to door, wheel to wheel in the middle section of the lap. A bit of hip and shoulder. Both come out okay. Still a bit more rubbing. Rubbin's racing. But this is an interesting one into the right-hander now. Still leaving each other just enough room. Zane Korn giving everything he's absolutely got. He has put on some great moves. Castro will want this podium as well, though. And now Korn moves in front into the left-hander. Job done. But I tell you what, there has been some bumper-to-bumper, door-to-door action throughout this entire evening. Bassett into the pit lane after getting some damage earlier on. He clearly cannot finish this race with that damage. Castro, though, now down to 4th place. Still good points on offer for 4th place. But Zane Korn, what a masterclass in overtaking today.
Yeah, absolutely. Zane Korn has shown this entire track how to maneuver. I mean, guys, that is 39 positions made, gross positions over race 1 and race 2. Almost a last to first challenge actually from Zane Korn over both races. So incredible job from him there. But here comes Woodside, 16th, the Foxxtecca car, just holding off from Lindner behind him, really trying to make a move behind him, and these two fighting right now. The battle for 16th continues on hard. A little bit further up in front of them is Soto, about 6 seconds. They're trying to gain up to him, but they're really going to have to fight hard. You can just see, oh, there's another McLaren there with front end damage that has decided to keep that car out. And a little bit further there is the likes of Alan Ware, also in the Roasted Records car. But now Woodside, you can see just on the backside of him is the likes of Lindner, really trying to push now on that car, really trying to find the gap. You can see how close it's getting. Coming in, he comes to the inside line now. It looks like he might actually have the inside line coming into the next corner. We could potentially see a move on the inside, but now it's flipped once again, because back into turn 1, Woodside has got the inside, dives up nicely, and it looks like Lindner went quite wide. Let's see, generating a lot of speed though. Up on the inside, this could be a masterclass. Jumps the grass, loses a little bit of speed, but back onto the outside now. This could be another position made. That was almost an incredible overtake there from Lindner, Matthew.
It was almost an incredible overtake. It could have also ended up in absolute disaster. This is Holloway, who I believe has just lost out to Brooks and Brown there. Lost 2 places in that final corner. Has Lewis Holloway still up 9. He's got Laverin on the back of him for another position in this one. Keep our eyes on Brown and Brooks just in front, though. Brown trying to head after him. Polasek 6/10 between him and Alexei Nesov. Bit of traffic just in front, but look at how Nesov has took chunks of time out of Polasek's lead here. Polasek has been in the lead since turn 2. Polasek doesn't want the back marker to pull out the way. He wants the slipstream down the back straight. Nesov giving it a flash of the lights to let him know he's there and coming. Chris, I don't think Polasek wanted him to pull across there. He wanted that slipstream.
Exactly, that's smart. You know, it's all strategy. You got to find your wins where you can get them. So I love the move.
This is Lindner with Woodside. Lindner's got past Woodside at some point this lap. Woodside trying to come back at him and can't do so there. Trying to get the momentum on the corner exit. Set him up for this one that leads you on to the back straight. That's going to be where you can get a good run out of here. Down towards the final corner now in that slipstream. But it looks like Lindner has got that job done. Woodside now going to have to try and come back at him somewhere in this race. With all this drama going off, we've got 11 minutes left in this one to go. So we've got a handful of laps left. Woodside looking to tuck underneath. Holds that tighter line on Lindner. Lindner's gone very, very wide. That's invited Woodside up the inside. Now they come down the start-finish straight. Lindner will have the inside line for turn number 1. What can Woodside do? A lap ago, it was roles reversed. Now it's Woodside on the attack. Swoops around the outside, nearly chopping the nose off of Lindner's McLaren. And Woodside moves back up to 16th.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is an incredible fight right now for 16th. I mean, this is exactly what racing is about. No matter the position you are on track, whether you're fighting for a podium, for top 5 or top 10, the fighting continues like it is your last race that you'll ever get to be on the sim. That is the incredible part about it. These drivers really, really showing each other. I mean, first of all, sportsmanship to really race each other. These guys have not made any form of contact yet, and it's been back-to-back for both of them. A little bit further, though, Mike Brooks is also racing on, and Zane Smith a little bit further back behind. But, yeah, we go. And now Woodside back on it again. Woodside just holding on the outside line because Lindner has gotten onto the inside line. And Woodside really trying to look for some form of space to make this position happen. It's been back and forth for the Foxxtecca driver and Linda in that Golden Eagle McLaren livery, just trying to wrap it around here for the circuit. We've got 10 minutes left of racing, and who will keep this under control? Holloway loses out to Laverin a little bit further down as well, and a little bit further up, because here comes Tyrone Roberts, about to be passed by Palla, and Ballas Palla has already, like from previous races, scored himself a third last week and a first position in the previous race. Now trying to climb back up this ladder after being rotated in the top 8 shuffle and trying to make it up. But also to keep note, Nesov is now 5/10 from Polisek for the battle for first, and this could potentially be a position made in the next couple of laps, so keep your eye on that timing board. But for now, we can also just keep on watching out throughout the mid-pack, because Polisek is holding on to this for dear life. Chris, this is going to be pinnacle again. I asked you this before, but now it's different because it's just these two fighting. The third position is 6 seconds behind. What is your expectation here for Polisek versus Nesov?
He's been keeping them at bay. I mean, he's closing ground, and he actually make up a little bit of ground now, but we'll see what happens. I think it's anybody's game. And again, looking up and down this grid and watching all these various battles, it just shows, you know, you have some of the top-ranked guys in the world going at it. You have newcomers going at it, and, you know, it just shows the skill and the kind of pageantry of this racing, man. I'm loving every bit of it.
And Nesov, a clever driver as well. He's not going to want to fight something too hard if he doesn't need to. He's going to make sure that he points being prizes, and that's what he's going to be trying to look at. Kyle Robertson here with that front end damage. He's got Russell Soto just in front of him. This is Anthony Jenkins down in 13th place with Wets just ahead. In the back of Arafag here.
Big shout out to Jenkins' car. He's rocking the livery of a group called the Black Auto Enthusiasts. They're a big Facebook community, and he's rocking the livery. He stepped up to the plate, so he's driving for them. There's about 10,000 people in that group, and I know they're watching live now. So big shout out to Bay. They hold events all around the country too in real life, so it's awesome to see that livery out there.
Yeah, I think it's just. On what group was that again, Chris? Sorry, just for the viewers.
For the Black Automotive Enthusiasts, they throw events all around the country. Just another way for people to get together from the car community, and they'll do like Tail of the Dragon here in the United States and car shows. And so, like I said, it's a big group in Facebook. They got about 10,000, maybe even more in the group. So big shout out to them.
Well, if I think that's from that. Good evening, welcome. Sorry, Tristan.
No, Tristan. I was just saying. I think it's just again. Just pointing out how incredible is the sportsmanship and like camaraderie we see in leagues like this. Just so much support from so many different groups of people, just like getting their name out there and really just showing that motorsports and sim racing is definitely still here to fight, and everybody has got their hands in it to keep it going with loads of action out on track. The drivers are ready for it. The teams behind in the garages are ready to continue it. And now Ballas Palla is really trying to climb back up here. He's got Colin Queen just in front, and Alessandro Torchio just holding off the top 5 right now. He's 5 positions up, trying to chase down on Castro just a little bit further up in front. But the gap is currently 2 seconds between the two drivers. And Castro chasing down on Zayn Khan. Currently, in my opinion, that would be driver of the day, because it's a gross 49 positions gained for him. But here comes Alexei Nesov. Like you were saying, he's not going to make an overtake if he doesn't need to, but he has seen the opportunity here. 2/10 now to Polisek, and this could potentially be an overtake in the next coming laps.
I also want to give a big shout out to Superlap over in Berkeley, Michigan. They had a couple of drivers. I think they had 4 drivers in this series, but they're also having a watch party. There's about 20 to 30 people in Superlap right now watching the race, so they're loving every bit of it. So big shout out to everybody there.
Congratulations, evening. Congratulations, what am I saying? Evening, welcome along to the channel. I hope you've enjoyed the racing so far. Nesov there, looking brilliant. And Tristan, he's not going to fight if he doesn't need to, but you tell me what racing driver wouldn't go for that race win. We also, in free practice, I think he's not in qualifying, Tristan, you think the 2-minute mark is going to be broken. Zayn Khan and Nesov have both dipped into that 2 minute. 2-minute 0.6 is the fastest lap, and a 2-minute 0.7 for Zayn Khan is his best lap. Nesov with that fastest lap of the race. There you see the fastest lap on the board. Polisek as well in the 2-minute 0.7s, and Torchio. So great pace from some of these drivers. And look at Nesov just getting closer and closer. Now, though,
like a lion stalking his prey in like the Serengeti. He's just like waiting and being patient every race.
this is it, Chris. Is he going to make the move now? He's got 5 minutes left in this race. Is he going to wait towards the end and then try to, do it on that final lap where hopefully, that Polasek won't come back at him as he gets very close. He's got a bit of a tap on the rear of Polasek there. Just a kiss on the rear bumper to let him know that he is still there and he's just that little bit closer.
I think Nesov is a TV kind of guy. I think he knows the entertainment industry. He wants to keep this interesting. He wants to pull a Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton 2021 scenario here. He's going to keep this until the final couple of minutes here before one ultimatum position is made. I want to see the same as what we saw in lap 1. Obviously a little bit more cleaner compared to what we saw in race 1 over there. But this could potentially be big. It's a little bit unfortunate there for Zen Khan. He is slowly catching this battle for first and second. Like we saw on those timings leaderboard, he's really not setting slow lap times. He is setting the exact same lap times that Polasek and Nesov are setting. But just unfortunately, I don't think 6 seconds is small enough to catch in 5 minutes left of racing here. So this is definitely going to be up to them unless something happens. I'm not speaking because commentators curse is a thing, and I'm not cursing guys over here because Polasek and Nesov are really trying to navigate the traffic over here, and they've done an incredible job at it so far. You can see how they managed to swiftly get past it. Nobody losing out to each other so far, and the back markers also not losing out on their own races because their races matter just as much as the battle for first and second over here.
Back markers have been fantastic today. Blue flags being waved, they've abided to them and have got straight out of the way. Polasek, though, not defending the inside line into turn 1. Nesov not close enough. Gains mid corner exit. Stays as we were. Polasek's just got them eyes on the mirrors. And the problem is when you start to watch your mirrors, you just start to get that tendency to overdrive the car and over defend just a little bit. These are top esports drivers though, and Polasek will know exactly what he's doing. Nesov trying to just put the pressure on him as we go through this race. Miles Brown has been requested in the chat. There is Miles Brown, currently P22 overall. He is up 2 places. Car number 222 is, well, I believe he is, anyway, because that's what it says in the chat. No, he's number 23. There's Lewis Holloway, P23. He's up 9 places. And Lavrin and Bassett. Now that's interesting. Lavrin and Bassett for 24th and 25th. It was Lavrin who had the spin and Bassett caught him as Lavrin was rejoining. So them two still together on the track fighting hard for position. There is Critchell and Souza going at it just behind the race leaders as well, as this is Castro. And is that Torchio with him? No, it's not. It's Richard Wedstead who is a lap down in this one. Polasek though Nesov on Polasek at the moment, coming through the final section of this lap onto the back straight. Nesov under braking and mid corner seems to be getting the run. Polasek slid off track. Nesov, Tristan, getting that closing that gap under braking and mid corner exit though. It kind of opened back up for Polasek to defend the next corner quite easily.
Yeah, they've got 2 very different driving styles, in my opinion. For the first time, there we go. Nesov has made the position. I just saw that now on the live timing board. That looks like a quick dive up on the inside. We were just talking about the driving styles, and I was about to say Nesov is like a leopard. He does not attack until he needs to, and there he does it while we are not watching. He just quickly makes the dive up on the inside, takes out the outside line, but yeah, holding the inside line is Polasek. But Nesov getting that slingshot in incredible speed, holds it off, and it looks like he might hold this 2 tenths now gap between the two. And now what he needs to do is run away with this. I think he's really managed those tires well by not attacking at the incorrect times. And let's have a look quickly at that overtake once again. When we're not looking, I cannot believe it, Matthew. We're on board with this guy the whole time. And as soon as we dip past, he's like, yep, this is the time. Look at this insane lunge up the inside. He saw the early braking there from Polasek. And he's like, this is my position to make. The once up again. This could potentially be his 3rd win in 2 weeks over here. In the league by Foxxtecca, an incredible hosted league here, and it could potentially be another win here for Nesov. Now already 5 tenths of a gap generated between him and Polasek, and this is going to go on more and more. Chris Wetstow is about to make an overtake as well on Arafeg, a little bit further behind, and you can see the positions are just getting closer and closer because on the outside now is Wet on Arafeg. Just holding off for the inside is a McLaren up in front. I think that's Nick DePaula still with the damaged McLaren, just trying to hold on here. He's done an incredible job to keep it in the top 10 with that damage. But here comes 2 incredibly fast, actually 3 incredibly fast drivers. with Anthony Jenkins just behind with like less than 10 seconds left to go. This could be changes for the battle for 10th here coming into the final couple of seconds here, Matthew.
Well, the leaders are coming round. So this is the final lap of this race. The leaders coming around to the final part of it. And this could be the final changes for the top 10. De Paula, what a job he's done to stay in 10th place with the damage that car. But Alexei Nesov, a lap ago, he made the lunge. He got the move done. It's going to be 3 from 4 for Alexei Nesov, who will take the checkered flag here at Sebring to win the second race here this afternoon at the League by Foxxtecca. Polasek P2, Zane Khan probably the driver of the day, like you said, P3, Castro and Torchio rounding out the top 5. But look at this for the top 10. It's De Paula, Arafeg, Wets, Jenkins, all gaining down the back straight. They've got one corner to go. Does anybody think of making a move? Yes, Jenkins has a look. Can't do it. Can he get it done on the exit? Holds that line tighter and tighter and tighter. Doesn't have the momentum. Bit of
almost snapped.
And we are exactly as we were. De Paula, Arafeg, Wets and Jenkins. And the fight is done for these three who have got the whole lap to go. Holloway, Bissett and Laverin.
Yeah, this is going to be a fight now down to the end. And like we say, it doesn't matter about the positioning on track. These three are in a fight for position because Holloway leads from Bissett and Laverin just a little bit further on behind. All of them definitely within passing distance. And like we just heard from the race control, they have to do a full lap still, finishing off this race. And look at that, Bissett on the backside, looking to make a lunge here on the final lap. You can see holding on the inside. Oh, and it's almost contact actually. Holding off on that inside, trying to find the position, and now diving a little bit later on the brakes, holding on the left side of the chicane. This could potentially be an overtake. It's a spin, unfortunately, and there goes both cars around. Unfortunately, Justin Bissett gets off, and Laverin gains the advantage. 16 positions up. Holloway's back up on track, but Bissett, the person who definitely does not get an advantage out of that fight, unfortunately misses out completely after being pit maneuvered after that huge incident. He has not had the best of races yet today in both races, but Laverin takes 23rd if he keeps it clean over the final couple of corners here. Holloway will take 24th and Bissett in 25th. But my goodness, guys, action up until the final lap.
Yeah, indeed it was. It's been some fantastic racing. Holloway 24th, Bissett 25th. And we can all just catch our breath a little bit and breathe a sigh of relief because we've got 1 week until we're back at Road America next time around. But what drama Sebring produced. The League by Foxxtecca going from strength to strength, and the action is non-stop. Alexei Nesov, 3 out of 4 for him. He is a man who is staking his claim for this championship. Polasek second place from Zane Khan. Castro and Torchio rounding out the top 5. Good results for them. Colin Queen, the Roasted Record Racing team, their great result, P6. Pala, your race 1 winner, is 7th place. Tyrone Roberts from Cameron Brown. De Paula hanging on to P10 with that front end damage. Great drive from him. Arafag from Wets. Jenkins, Soto, Robertson, Lindner, Woodside and Zohair Ahmed in P18.
Yeah, following on 19th, all the way down, a little bit down, we'll get to the 19th there, and that's Alan Ware in 19th, followed by Zane Smith in 20th, Mike Brooks in 21st, Miles Brown in 22nd with Jesse Laverin. We just saw that fight happening, comes across in 23rd with Holloway and Bissett rounding off the 25th marker over there. Thomas Critchell in 26th, followed by Souza and Wedstead in 27th and 28th. Cuthbert in 29th, followed by Fenderson in 30th and Mike Mann in 31st. Jonathan Lowers in 32nd and Andrew Yun in 33rd, followed by Lewis Garland in the 4th. And Nicholas Laubish, the driver who we saw unfortunately forfeit this race earlier on, in 35th. Tyler Campbell also massive contact between the two, down in 36th. Gregory Hooverson, who was destined for potential good result today, down in 37th position. Tyler King in 38th. Andrew Carron, also massive incident at the start of the race, down into 39th. Xavier Bulliner in 40th. And Kamari Odom in 41st. And Rob Holland once again rounding off the 42nd position here for this massive grid of drivers here for the second race here of the League by Foxxtecca round 2 at Road Atlanta. It has been incredible to watch and commentate.
Absolutely fantastic to see. We've got a few drivers sat waiting for an interview, so let's try Cameron in for a quick interview. Try and see Cameron.
I believe this is Cameron Brown, yeah.
Cameron Brown.
Hello.
Yeah, so we will speak with Cameron. Cameron, welcome. You're live in the commentary box at the moment. Well, I don't know really how to sum up that race tonight. Chaotic, maybe?
Yeah, I think that'd be an understatement.
How was it for you,
definitely an understatement.
Yeah, I just hope that the stewards come down with a hammer. This is pretty ridiculous, to be honest. Yeah, the rejoins were atrocious. People parking on apexes before they tow the car. Not even making it. I was just going back to look at the start of race 2 because I have no idea how that started. But not even making it to turn 1 is an atrocity. Yeah, it was a rough start. Being taken out in the first race because the results of the first determine the grid for the second is pretty brutal. So being taken out in the first and then having to start 31st is a rough start to the second race. But I guess I lucked out in the end.
Well, we're just actually seeing a few of your highlights while you talked to us there. How you didn't get away with it, obviously, but how you managed to get away without being completely wrecked at the start, I'm not quite sure. 21 places gained, P9 overall in that second race. Points in the bag at the end of the day, isn't it? I suppose it's a better outcome after that race 1 spin.
Yeah. I'm really excited about the result of race 2. I wasn't quite expecting that. I knew the pace was pretty good around here, but I was not expecting to make 21 places and back to P9. But then again, I should have expected that. I think we all should have after seeing what happened at the beginning of race 1.
What was the track conditions for you? Was it? I know there was some conversations in the beginning about, the weather, the temperature, track temp. Was it a struggle for you?
Not too much. I'd say. I mean, track was 53C. I'd practiced on that the whole week, so I was ready for it to some extent. But when your tires get up to 103 or 102 around certain corners, or if you keep pushing a couple laps in a row, then it makes things very, very difficult.
Yeah, Sebring obviously a bit of a unique circuit compared to the rest that we're going to be at for the rest of this season. Obviously, the heat, the tyre temperature is not really playing in your favour. Apart from that, how was the car out there tonight?
Yeah, it felt good. I think I only got about 3 corners of a clean car in, but aside from that, it felt good. Yeah.
Go to Road America next week. What can we do around there?
Yeah, pretty pumped about Road America. Haven't driven it in a long time, but it is one of my more popular tracks, so I'm excited to see. I'm new to GT3s, so every race is kind of a show and tell.
And lastly, anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, huge shout out to Effectssim Sports, effectsimulations.uk, turnkey rigs. Thanks so much, guys.
Brilliant. Thank you, Cameron Brown there. Congratulations on
Cameron.
race 2. We'll see you next week.
See you then.
Tristan, anybody you'd like to bring into the box?
Yeah, I'm going to bring in our US Army esports driver over here who I think didn't have the best of nights tonight, but managed to still bring it across the line. Justin Bessett, welcome in to the commentary box. How are you feeling after both of those chaotic race 1 and race 2?
Disappointed. I made it through the initial insanity. On both of them. In the first race, I had a packet loss, and then the second race, I just got caught up in somebody else's business. Is what it is, but last lap had a little net code in a really close, tight race, and that was disappointing. But really, I mean, just good competition tonight.
Yeah, no, it was a 42 car grid. There was definitely a lot of competition. I think we all just kind of want a bit of clarity. I think you mentioned a bit of netcode there, but what exactly happened on that last lap over there? You were fighting there with Laverin and another driver over there just in the final, and you missed out there with a bit of a pit maneuver. What exactly happened there in that three-way fight?
So when I went back and watched the replay, we were both racing each other real tight, and there was probably about a foot of space between his left front and my right rear. And iracing decided that we were making contact, and we just started spinning. Is what it is. I mean,
yeah. So, and I mean, we're looking at it now currently on the stream. We just witnessed the turn 1. I mean, the starting grid carnage actually. And I mean, despite the slightly not so great race, you're still 8 positions up from the starting line. And so, I mean, still incredible performance. And we're watching the replay now and I exactly see what you mean. There's a little bit of net coding there, and it just completely wipes you backwards, unfortunately. But next week is a little bit of a page turn. We're at Road America, I believe. How are you feeling for the next race at Road America?
I'd be lying if I didn't say you telling me that is probably the best news of the week. I used to be an HPDE instructor out there.
Oh, so
wow.
you've definitely got a little bit of view knowledge. So you're definitely looking forward to it, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. Even the scan that they currently have is the same layout as when I last drove the track.
All right, so yeah, we're definitely gonna
home field advantage.
Exactly, infield advantage right there. So we're definitely going to be keeping an eye out for Justin Bessett next week at Road America. He's going to potentially have the advantage over the couple of the drivers. But before we let you go, anybody that you'd like to thank after tonight's race?
Just U.S. Army Esports, real good community. Some of the guys in the forums saw that my family suffered a loss this week, and the community has really stepped up and given their outreach for support throughout all that. I came into tonight with almost no practice because of dealing with the pet, and yeah.
Oh, huge condolences from our side, man, but still you managed to bring it home across the line in one piece, and that's exactly what matters. But thank you so much for joining us in the interview room, and we'll see you next week at Road America.
See you guys.
All right,
Chris.
And Matthew? Yeah, or Chris, yeah.
Chris, who would you like to speak to?
Who we got here? Let's talk to Lewis Garland. Lewis. Is he there?
Lewis, hello.
Not too sure.
You're in the commentary box.
He's muted. There we go. Lewis.
Hello.
Hey, talk to us. How was the race for you?
Man, it was incredible. This is my first time ever racing Sebring. It's not the result that anyone wants, especially after turn one. My car got wrecked immediately, and I just figured, let me just throw this thing to the pits and try and just salvage what I can of the race. But ultimately, it was a great experience. I just enjoyed being able to get out there and compete against some of the best I've ever raced against in my life. That was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Was I know there's been a lot of conversations about track conditions and tire wear. Were you having some issues managing your tires at all?
Absolutely. Yeah. I realized lap after lap that I was kind of losing grip a little bit, and I was trying to go deeper and deeper into the corners and just trying to figure out how to adjust and start braking correctly with losing grip. But once again, it's just about the way that you adapt and overcome when you're out there. So got to get better.
How long have you been sim racing for?
Honestly, about 4 months, I'd say. I got a racing sim last year, and I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, so I had to sell it and get back on my feet. And praise God, I lined everything up to get another one. So I've been trying to get after it consistently for about 3 or 4 months now.
And that's awesome. Welcome to the league, man. We really appreciate you out here. And like I said before, all broadcasts, the level of talent here from top to bottom is great. So it was awesome to see you out there.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time.
Want to give a shout out to anybody before you go?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to God. I mean, ultimately, you put your faith and confidence and trust in Him, and He'll set your path straight. So I'm super grateful that I was even able to race in the league like this.
Amen to that.
Lewis Garland there. Congratulations to him for this evening. We'll bring in let's get Lewis Holloway in for a quick chat. Lewis, you're live on the league by Foxxtecca. Just talk us through that tonight a little bit.
Tonight I didn't really have the pace to start up with the front runner, so I started towards the back, and both races ended up having to deal with a little bit of a bumper cars in the back and just try to make through the best I can. First lap wasn't super lucky, had a meatball but dragged it back and was able to miss out on having to lose time with the toe. And then the second lap, same thing, got through a little bit cleaner but still had a little bit of damage and just was uncomfortable, so decided to pit. Still made it out about 10 positions up, so was happy with that.
Yeah, talk us through the end of that second race there, because we saw you in a good battle with Bessett and Lavrin. What happened at the end?
Yeah, I was looking at it myself and I saw the net code. We were just racing pretty close, and I should have been further up the road had I not had a couple slides ahead of that. So that let him get back close. And for that last lap, just really good racing up until that point. And then just, that net code, as you guys saw, just put me out a little bit. So a shame of ending to that last lap with some really good racing. But overall, was really enjoying the racing.
Sebring's obviously provided some hot temperatures today. How did you manage the McLaren around here?
Yeah, coming into it, I really had to just kind of take it a little bit easy, kind of get into a flow state rather than just trying to push, really being gentle with the inputs, trail braking a little bit more to keep the car turned in where I wanted it to be. And managing a little bit of like a lift and coast into some of the corners just to keep the car from overheating and keep the tires going until the end.
Lastly, penultimate question, I suppose. Road America next week. Do you like Road America? What can you do around there?
I did my first race there a couple weeks ago, but I was in a GT4, so it wasn't the most enjoyable experience for me. So I'm excited to get back there in the GT3. It's a fun track, some good elevation, some interesting corners, some blind corners, I feel like, in that track. So depending on how the sun is aiming, especially on the last corner, there can be some good glare going on that last corner. So excited to get on there, give it another try, and I think I'll like it a lot better this time in the GT3.
And lastly, anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my family. I'd like to thank Camber and Caster, the sim racing team here in San Diego that I race with. Jesse Laverin was also in the race, teammate. Just want to shout out to them, shout out to my friends and family watching at home, and excited for next week.
Brilliant. Lewis, congratulations tonight. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. See you.
Tristan, anybody you'd like to speak to next? We've got Tyrone Roberts and I believe Rain.
That's Rain. Yeah, let's have a chat there. I believe this is Mr. Rain Woodside. Welcome in. You're live on the commentary box here on Apex Racing TV for the league by Foxxtecca. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
That's good. That's good. We witnessed you had some incredible battling up and down there with Jack Lindner towards the end side of this race. Talk us through how that battle went. What was going on through the whole battle?
Well, shout out to him first. He's an incredible driver, but going into some of the corners, I realized that he was getting a little bit close to me, so I had to try my best to defend as much as I can. But when he was able to overtake me and I saw him pulling the gap away from me, I said, man, I don't know if I can catch him, so I just had to hold my position and just get away with the points.
Well, I mean, you did an absolutely incredible job there. We witnessed that fight, and you guys really kept it door-to-door, but without contact, so incredible job there. From outside. And we just wanted to also chat, obviously everybody's situation at the starting grid incident was different. How did that look on your side, and how did you manage to survive, or did you receive any form of contact?
Are you talking about Heat 1 or Heat 2?
The second race, massive starting grid incident.
Oh yeah, there was no damage at all. Luckily, I'm just blessed that I was able to make it through there. When the race was about to begin, I just started to see parts flying, and I just say, let me just slow down and just hope for the best I can get through this. And when I was able to get through, there was no damage. Spread like the Red Sea, like Moses, so I was able to just keep my head down and just keep on trucking, and I was able to just stay composed throughout the rest of the race.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I mean, we're watching it right now live on the stream, how you just managed to avoid every bit of contact here. Despite all odds here, you managed to get past, so incredible job there. But I mean, overall 18 positions up in Heat 2, incredible stuff over there. How are you feeling going into Road America next week for round 3 of the league by Foxxtecca?
I'm pretty excited. There's a lot to look out for, and on my behalf, there's a lot I have to work on. But Road America is one of my favorite tracks, so I've been practicing on it a lot with Indy cars because I love Indy cars. But I'm pretty excited, and I'm looking to learn more and more for this next race.
Absolutely incredible. Well, I mean, we look forward to seeing you next week at Road America. Is there anything you'd like to say, or anybody you'd like to thank just before we head off here?
I want to thank God, and I want to thank Chris Harris for giving me the opportunity to represent Foxxtecca. I hope he's pleased with that finish I did with P17, and I want to give a shout out to my mother, who's probably watching, my grandmother, who's probably watching this right now. They're probably giving me a hand clap. I don't know what they're doing. And I want to give a shout out to my father as well, and my brother, who's watching this race as well, and my other friends and family.
Incredible stuff. Loving Chris Harris. Yeah.
Keep going, man. You did an amazing job, even the week before. Just keep going. I'm loving what I'm seeing from it. So honored to have you pilot that car.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely incredible stuff. It's awesome to see the camaraderie inside and outside the car. But thank you once again for racing tonight. We'll see you next week at Road America. Have a great night further.
You too. See you guys soon.
Cheers.
And Chris, we've got Tyrone Roberts, who we can speak to once again if you'd like to take Tyrone.
Yeah, last but not least, Ty, welcome back.
What's up, y'all? How's it going?
Good. Talk to us. What are your post-race thoughts?
Man, that was
Yeah.
that was crazy. I had just avoided the that whole pileup that happened right in front of me. It was an incredible pileup. I don't know how it started, but man, that was insane, and I was actually able to capitalize off of that. I think I started the race in P14. I had some unfortunate tire damage in heat 1, and then this race pushed me down to 14. Started this race in 14, and then I was able to jump up to P5, and I don't know what my machine was doing, but I started to get an FPS drops towards probably 15 minutes into the race, and Paula caught up to me. So it was an interesting race, but I'm glad to finish it in I think I was in P8, right? P8, P7, I believe, something like that.
P8, yeah.
Yeah, P8.
Yeah, that race was a blur. After all those wrecking, I'm surprised I made it through everything. I'm grateful for it.
No, it's unfortunate because I don't watch. I watch racing, but I think it's the first time where I saw half the field wrecked before they even crossed the starting line. So
yeah,
that was really interesting.
That was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot for before we even hit turn 1. That was pretty insane. But not the first time I've seen that. I've seen that happen all the time. People fighting, trying to get that race start into turn 1 because they know they'll probably get in front of somebody and then try to defend the whole race. So that's some people's strategy. But a lot of these guys that are up front, probably like the top 5, top 6 guys, man, their pace is pretty identical. So little advantages like that definitely count, especially at the beginning of the race. I know I took advantage of it. So
that's awesome. Looking forward to Road America.
Yes, absolutely. I hate hot tracks. Hot tracks is not my my ideal driving tense for me. So I'm looking forward to a more cooler track and hopefully some more battling with the more ideal track temperatures at Road America. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Sebring is probably the hottest track we'll see all year. So I guess it's good to get this out of the way.
Yeah, I cooked my tires at the beginning of the race. Probably 7 laps in, my tires were already cooked because I was trying to keep up with my boy Alessandro. But I just couldn't keep up. But luckily, was able to keep it above top 10.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we go?
I want to give a shout out to you guys for putting this together. Foxxtecca, all you guys, anyone behind the scenes working on this and putting this league together. This league kind of kicked off the last probably 2 weeks of its inception and starting the actual league race. We got some heavy hitters in here, and just wanted to give a shout out to you guys for setting this up and getting the word out there for sure.
No, I appreciate that. Big shout out to the Roasted Record. Mike
Yes,
Van
Roasted
over
Record.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, the partner. He got a new driver in this race, so it was cool to see, the growth of the field. Big shout out to Apex Racing TV. Like, these guys, like I said, I was recommended these guys a while ago, and I understand they truly are the best of the business, and I'm having a lot of fun with this. So big shout out to everybody. All Def, big shout out to you guys. The highlights are coming soon. I know everybody's waiting for that. And I'm looking forward to the next run.
Definitely, same here.
Congratulations tonight. We'll see you next week at Road America.
Thanks, y'all. See ya.
And that then brings us to an end of what has been such a chaotic but brilliant night of action here at the Sebring International Raceway. Tristan, Chris, thank you for joining me in the commentary box once again. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great race, and we look forward to Road America next week. And it's just going to be action on action, both heats. We're going to wait to see what these odd 40 drivers can do at yet another American circuit, but yet another great circuit to race at.
Road America is
fun.
Sorry, Chris, go on.
No, I said it's been fun, for sure.
Indeed, it has. Thank you again to Roasted Records and to the African American
Automotive Association. That's my company too. So they are the education leg of Foxxtecca. So we have an education curriculum, and we do a bunch of education programs, which is why we created this league as well, because there's areas in our country that don't have access to motorsports, and a lot of times they just focus on the driving aspect of it. And so if kids don't feel that they can drive, what happens is we lose them to other industries. So we have an education curriculum that uses motorsports to not only teach about the driving, but the marketing, the broadcasting, the operations, and get kids involved in our industry. So if they can't drive, well, we don't lose them to other industries. They realize they still have a place here. So that's the African American Automotive Association, and that's the work that we do, and it heavily supports why the league was created in the first place.
And that is absolutely fantastic to see, and the sponsorship from both that and the Roasted Records is brilliant partners to have on board for the rest of this championship. We head to Road America in a week's time. This season looks like it could be an absolute belter. You're not going to want to miss a moment of it. We'll see you next time for the league by Foxxtecca at Road America. Goodbye.